guys, welcome to IELTS Gaby, o espaço onde você encontra as estratégias necessárias para alcançar a band score 7.0 no IELTS. And starting from this moment right here, this video is 100% in English. I asked you on Instagram at IELTS with Gaby if you wanted me to do a review of the book I was reading in English, do a review video 100% in English, in which I would teach you all the vocabulary I learned, how was my process of reading, tell you about the story, what I liked, what I disliked on this book, and also teach you the vocabulary that is on the book that also can be used on IELTS. And you said yes, so here it is. This is finally the moment, people. We have this. Also, it's a great opportunity for you to practice your listening as you listen to me talking about this book for these many minutes that this video has. Today I'll teach you how to study for IELTS by reading and reviewing books, because I already taught you how to make a good review, all the steps you need, and if you haven't seen this video yet, you'll be linked in the cards. But in summary, to do a good review when you're reading the book, you should write down all the words that you don't know, but do not check them while you read, because that makes it boring and the pace of your reading, it gets low. So it's not the best solution. But you should write them down on a list, and then remember, check them on an English dictionary. Do not translate. That's not going to be good for you. In the review, write about the plot of the story, if you liked, what you liked and you disliked on the story, and if you would recommend it or not. So let's get down to business, which is an expression that means let's go straight to the point. Let's be objective. Let's go to the goal. Let's go there. Let's start this review. The book I'll talk about today is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, which is an American classic. This book was written in 1868, but the story is set in the period between 1861 and 1865 during the American Civil War. It's a huge book. My edition has 777 pages, so at one point I thought I would never finish it, but I made it, I'm here, and I don't know for what reason I thought it was a British classic, not an American classic, but it makes zero sense because the story is set in America, in the United States, and also the author is American, so I don't know why I thought that, but soon enough during the story I figured that out and could carry on with my reading. So the book is about, well, I'm saying book too many times, ain't I? So there are other ways that we could call it that is not only book, that we can show off vocabulary and show off our English, because remember, lexical resource, aka vocabulary, it's really a big part of your IELTS exams. 25% of your speaking and 25% of your writing tests. So let's check and take a look at some other ways to say book. Well, I could say novel, brochure, publication, and storybook, but I'll go with novel. The novel is about the story of four sisters, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy. And as I mentioned before, there was a war happening, so their father is fighting this war, and we follow the stories back at home with the four girls, their mom, and their helper, Hannah. Their family is not rich, so the girls have to work and help out at home. Which is not the ideal situation, but they also have time for leisure and to play and be kids at the same time. However, they wish they could have all the beautiful dresses and expensive things their friends had. There's also Aunt March, which is the rich aunt of the family, which is sometimes funny, but most of the time she's annoying. In a nutshell, which means in summary, the girls have these characteristics. Meg is the oldest daughter, and she is kind of the perfect girl, the one that does everything correctly, super polite, and dreams of marrying and having a family, raising a family. Jo is the complete opposite. She's very expressive, she doesn't want to get married at all, and she's keen on writing. Sometimes, or most of the time, she is quite dramatic. Beth is really sweet. She is the pianist of the family. She is just a kind girl. And Amy, the youngest, dreams of being rich, and she's also the artist of the family. Alongside the girls, we have Laurie, which is Joe's age, and he's their neighbor, that rich neighbor, but he's really silly, boyish style, which comes with the age, but he also didn't want to do anything at the time with his life. But he becomes friends with the girls, and they start kind of their own club. The author of the book divided the story in two big parts. Part 1, we follow the characters during their childhood, and around the house doing the chores. So the chores are those things that we do in the house to keep in order. Things like cleaning, cooking, taking out the trash. So we follow that part, but we also see the plays and the games they played together. Because we actually follow the daily life, the pace of the story gets a little slow and boring at some points. When we say the pace of something, it means the rhythm that something is developed. And on top of that, the chapters are around 20 to 25 pages, so they're really long, which can make the reading process a little bit tiring. But luckily, the story is great, so you don't get sleepy or bored at the end of your chapter. In part 2, the girls are older, so we follow kind of their teen days and becoming adults stage. So there are lots of flirting and going around, which was more interesting for me than part 1. There's also new characters in part 2, and the saddest event of this whole story happens in part 2. It's actually heartbreaking. I'm not going to spoil you, but if you've seen the 2019 movie of the story, which, by the way, it's amazing, or if you've seen one episode of the TV series Friends, in which Rachel tells Joey to read this book, and they give the spoilers out in that episode, and by the Joey reaction, you know how bad it is, then you know what I'm talking about, and you know how actually sad it becomes. The book has a narrator, which is not one of the characters, and at some point, the narrator interacts with us readers, which makes the reading process more fun and nicer. And notice that I said at some point to avoid saying sometimes again. And some other words we could use would be often or usually. Regarding the author, this was the first novel I read, and I actually never heard about her before I watched the Friends episode that they talk about Little Women. So her writing is actually great. I love the way the author presented us the characters and how the author describes and introduces the scenes and makes us feel during the story. And I'm repeating author again too many times, right? What could we say to avoid repetition of author? We could say writer, the creator of a story or the creator of a narrative, the mind behind the masterpiece. I love this last one. Anyway, she is great, but because this is an old book, there are some especially interesting vocabulary she chose to use here. So let's take a look. For example, the first shock I had reading the book was that she uses the word gay a lot in these meanings, like a gay dress, a gay party, Amy was feeling gay, and then it was really weird for me to read that until I realized that it was used in the sense of happy. So it was a happy dress, or happy or good energy, a happy dress, a beautiful dress, a happy party, good energy, good environment. Amy was feeling happy. Some IELTS way to say the same idea would be fun, exciting, and delightful. And I already did a video teaching you how to transform normal sentence to IELTS sentence. And if you hadn't seen it, click on the card. Another word Lisa uses a lot is idle, which means lazy, not being used without a purpose. In the story, they say that Laurie is idle, meaning he is lazy. And more than once in the story, he says, I'm not being idle. And the girls say this as well. This word is quite formal and old, so some other ways to express the same idea would be lazy, which is the most common one. You could also say indolent or slothful. Slothful comes from the animal sloth, which is CG from the animation Ice Age. So that is a sloth. And then it means that you're slothful. An informal way to say the same idea would be not feeling something. So for example, someone tells you, go to the supermarket. And you say, oh, I'm not feeling it. Or I don't feel like it. The last thing I want to call out about vocabulary in this book is the word for. It is normally used as a preposition of this destination, this purpose, this result. Something like, I bought a gift for you. So you are the destination of what I did. That's why I use for. However, in the book, it is used as a synonym for as, in the idea of cause and consequence, or even example. Meg's tender hope was realized, for when Beth woke from that long healing sleep, the first object on which her eyes fell were the little roses. This for is not purpose, but rather the reason why Meg's hope was realized. We could have said, Meg's tender hope was realized as, when Beth woke from that long healing sleep, the first object on which her eyes fell were the little roses. This structure is very beautiful and formal, and you can definitely use it on IELTS. About vocabulary and how hard it is to read the book, it took me a while to actually engage with the reading, but after around 100-150 pages, it was okay. The problem with vocabulary is that it's sometimes very formal and ancient, but it's not impossible. If your English level is already in the advanced stage, it should be totally okay. This book, this story in English, the ebook is available for free in the package of Kindle Unlimited if you sign it, but you can also buy it, the ebook in English. Or if you are a bookworm, someone that is passionate about books just like me, and you rather have the physical version so you can hold it, this beautiful version that I have, this collection version that is hardcover and super beautiful. It's also available for you to purchase on Amazon, and I'll leave all these links of the books in the description down below. In general, it is a great story about family, moral values, love, and friendship. I definitely recommend it for anyone that likes historical romances and novels, and also wants to practice English with a very good and nice story. Tell me in the comments down below if you like this kind of video, and to access the PDF with this complete review, you just have to access the Telegram group, this exclusive Telegram IELTS with Gaby squad, and the link is also in the description down below. Besides these PDFs of all the videos here on YouTube, you can also access exclusive content of listening, reading, writing, and speaking related to IELTS. Don't forget to go to Instagram and also follow me for daily tips, and subscribe here on YouTube if you're not subscribed yet. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!